round over and a big side. Big side. Big side goes up.
Okay.
Rounded side down.
Rounded side down.
That's fill for the
And
crown.
you want it flush to the top of the cabinet.
Perfect.
I'm making a back cut in case you have a long run and you need to splice it, butt another piece into it. I like to cut that on like a 15 or a 22. If you cut it any sharper than that, then your splice isn't going to match up as well. So I like 15 myself. Some people like 22. I wouldn't go more than a 22 and a half. And I still stain these too. So on my 45s, my miters, I like to take the stain stick and just you don't have to color the whole thing, just where you're gonna see it in the front. That way you don't have an exposed edge and it hides your cuts and makes your miters look better. Because, see, you don't want that exposed, that exposed wood. So if you take your stain stick and just stain the front edge, and then when you put them together, you don't have that exposed look to it. But I like to set it in place, make sure I'm not too long or too short. And that looks really good. So I'll take my piece. And you want this edge, you want it just to the top of the cabinet. You always glue your miters. That is a must. I don't like putting too many in the joints, just like one or two. Because once that glue dries, it's gonna hold just fine. But the more pins you put in this, the more of a chance you're gonna blow it out. And you don't want that to happen.
So now you have a long run, you gotta make a splice.
So, yes. So basically, if this is over 8 feet, then you're gonna have to splice it. And I just get a rough 24 and 7/8. And sometimes I'll cut this a little bit long, just to make sure it fits tight on my splice. Going backwards. So, if I'm cutting for the right side of the cabinet, this is going to be left instead of right. when I cut crown, my first cut, before I cut it, I set it in the saw where I want it, where it fits nice, and then I'll make a mark on my saw. That way, when you're cutting the rest of your pieces, if you're off a little bit, you won't line up with your other piece. So you want to make sure every cut, your crown is in the exact same spot on your saw. Stainless. And like I said, you don't have to stain the whole thing, you just want to stain the front where it's going to meet in the front, so you don't have that exposed look. And glue.
Roll it glue.
Main thing you're looking for is you want both, you want it as flush as possible so you don't see the seam. And you can put one nail on the top.
You don't have the super tar, and that's it for a bad crown joint. It's pretty good. Then you
That's how you
cut the
install
holes.
crown. You just rub it in till you can't see the hole. And then you take a rag
Buff it clean.
and you wipe it clean. And you want to make sure you wipe it really clean or you're going to see wax in the sunlight. So if you don't get all the wax off, it's going to show. So it doesn't take much. And sometimes I will do like 2 or 3. Then wipe them clean. And then I'll move down and do a few more. But you don't want to do all of it at once and then go back and try to wipe them down, because then you might miss one or two. So you want to take your time. Putty 1 or 2 and then move on. And if you have a little bit of a gap here, you can take your stick. Do not use caulk even on the light ones, because the caulk shows up too bright and makes the joint even more noticeable. So if you do need to touch it up, use your putty, not caulk. And then same thing, you want to make sure that's nice and clean and you get all that putty out of there. And we're just going to make it stand out too. So